Welcome. You're listening to The Daily Real Estate Show, where we talk all things real estate.
He sold my home in 7 days.
This guy never stops working for you.
Wayne sold my house in a week.
And now your host, Wayne Turner.
Hello, everyone. You're listening to The Daily Real Estate Show, where we're going to talk about a little bit about local New Orleans real estate, but most importantly, we're going to talk about just real estate in general. The reason why I'm doing this podcast, too, is to educate, inform, and bring as much value as we possibly can to consumers all around the country. So it doesn't matter if you're in California, you're in Texas, you're in Florida, it doesn't matter. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. I've been here in New Orleans for 11 years. And real estate is, I tell people, look, it's people and houses. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. But on the local, if you're listening local, I want to talk a little bit about the market. So housing market in the local area, and people ask me about, well, how is the market? How's it going? What's trending? What's happening? And I try to be as totally transparent and as honest and look at people. If it's bad or good, I tell people, everybody should know. And I even put this in a website. It's called Turner Market Reports. That's not so shameless plug, but it's turnermarketreports.com. You can go and actually see these reports. So I'm going to talk a little bit numbers right now. And listen, if you're listening to this podcast, I thank you. If you want to actually see me in the studio, I have a camera on me right now. You can go to WayneTurnerTV.com, click on podcast, and literally you'll be able to see every episode. So we're going to keep this pretty tight, pretty fast. I am a country boy from the South at heart, but I do like to talk quick and do some stuff that's really off the cuff. So as far as the Covington market right now, anything under $200,000 in Covington, right now there's a 3-month supply of houses. So if not another single home was listed in Covington, Louisiana, under $200,000, there would be no homes under $200,000 in Covington. I mean, these are true numbers. It's pretty crazy. I'm holding it up to the camera right now. But once again, if you want to see these, you can go to turnermarketreports.com. You can click on your city, and you'll see the full report. And listen, make a mental note to really check out page 4, because that's what I'm showing you here. And it actually shows you, and it's a color-coded chart to show you what's the inventory, what's the average days on the market, what's the median, what's the time frame, what's all of that is all right here. So Covington right now, absolutely, it's a seller's market. Sit tight with me. I'm going to show you the hottest market. If you live in this market, you're going to be like, that's insane. So Mandeville is not the hottest market, but it's the second hottest market. So right now, Mandeville, Louisiana, market reports. And listen, I do these reports every Monday. Shout out to Stevie V, by the way. He's my producer, as y'all can see there. So he has to sit here for me and tolerate me for a few minutes. But anyway, so we've got anything under, listen to this, get this, anything under $300,000 has less than 2 months of inventory in Mandeville, Louisiana. Let that soak in for a second. Think about this. If you have a house that you're looking to purchase or sell, and that's what I've been telling people, it's a seller's market. Everything is fueled by supply and demand. So if you have not as many homes on the market to purchase and more people wanting to purchase the houses than you as a homeowner, if you own a home, you're listening to this, you can ask more money for your home. By the way, those of you watching on the camera, this is Mellow Yellow. It's been my favorite drink since I've been about 12 years old. Anyway, Mellow Yellow in the Turner Real Estate koozie. Not a beer at this time because we are doing this during business hours. All right, so 2 months of inventory, under $300,000 if you're looking to sell your house. Call me to sell it. Call your real estate agent to sell it. Call anybody to sell it. But right now, it's a seller's market. Don't let anyone tell you any different. If you want to see it for yourself, go to turnermarketreports.com. All right, Slidell, real quick. Slidell's the same way. Anything under $250,000. The housing, for example, right now, $250,000 to $300,000 in Slidell. There is a surplus of homes. There's a lot of homes. You're in the yellow. And the yellow means 6.5 months of inventory. So when you put yourself in a 6.5 months of inventory, it's more of a buyer's market right now if you're between $250,000 and $300,000 in Slidell. But anything under $250,000 in Slidell, you're looking at anywhere from 2.5 to 3 months max. It's pretty crazy. Now, to the hottest market. The hottest market right now is Metairie, Louisiana. Now, get this. Under $450,000. Homes on the market right now. There's 11 homes on the market in Metairie between $4 and $450. There's been 36 to sell in the last 6 months. That's another thing. I don't know if I mentioned this, but these reports that I do, they're done every week. And with the weekly report, it goes back a revolving 6 months. So it's not a year to date, it's a 6 month to date. So they go back, literally, these reports go back 6 months, and they update every week, which is pretty phenomenal. So even if you go and you go to the site, you can save it as your favorite if you want to. You can check it out each week. I've been doing this business for 24 years, and I've never seen people buying houses at a pretty rapid rate. It's phenomenal. I mean, to see Metairie in the red, look at that. I'm talking you got like 60 days of houses. And not only 60 days, get this. So this is Metairie, and average time on the market is 43 days, Metairie. Average time on the market, Slidell, 56 days. Average time on the market, Mandeville, 52 days. These aren't just my numbers. These are actual homes sold within the MLS, the entire MLS. 73 days for Covington. So that right now, that's the longest. Look, anything 90 days or less is a seller's market. So we're all into a seller's market on that. So yes, it is a seller's market. True story. I spoke with a lady the other day. I called her and spoke with her. I was talking about selling her house, and she said, well, I talked with an agent yesterday, Wayne, and she said, there's no way I could get $110 a square foot for my house. And of course, I immediately said, I wouldn't list my house with her, because when I'm talking to this lady on the phone about selling a property, I have my computer pulled up. I'm looking at the data. I'm looking at all the information. And this lady could get $116, $117 a square foot easy. So, of course, I asked the lady, it's like, well, did she see her house? Did she see your home? Did she walk? No, she'd never been out my home. So, I don't know about you, but I heard years ago a guy say this. He said, never propose for marriage after a fight. The answer is probably going to be no. So, anyway, 110 a square foot, she could get 115, 116 a square foot. So, the moral story is, be positive. That's what I tell people. My blood type is B positive. Negative people, they suffocate you. All right, so another really quick story about buying a house for no money out of pocket. People talk to me, they ask me, they're like, how do you buy a house no money out of pocket? They think I'm literally like making this crap up, or pulling something out of thin air, or it's got to be like too good to be true. You know, it's one of those things where if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Well, let me tell you, the no money down program right now, it's not too good to be true. It is absolutely true. There's a lender out there, GMFS Financial Services. They are doing these loans. Shout out to Stephanie Weeks. We use Stephanie Weeks here in Covington. But you could use any lender. There's more than one lender doing this, I'm sure. This is just who we've used, and they work out really good. So the way it works is really simple. The prevailing rate right now is phenomenally low, 4%. So to get the grant, they'll gift you up to 4%. So they're going to give you the money to put down on your home. That money goes towards your down payment. We get the seller to pay your closing costs. That's no problem at all. The seller pays your closing cost. And from there, you buy a house for no money out of pocket. Now, do you have to pay the money back? Nope, absolutely not, because you're paying the money back whenever you pay it in the rate. So if the rates right now, let's just say, for example, if the rates were 4% today, on the CAFA grant program, the rate would be, say, 5%. And so you'll pay more money on your monthly payment through a higher rate. But you got to understand, if you were to take $5,000 to $7,000 even of your own money to buy a house, and by the way, this does not have to be a first-time home buyer program. It can be anybody. We've had clients to literally sell their house and take the equity from their home, pay off debt, car loans, student loans, whatever it may have you, and then purchase a house through this. It's not like money in the bank, and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify for this. So true story. At the dry cleaners today, picked up my dry cleaning, and the lady says She handed me a pen to sign my receipt, and it just wouldn't work. So I pulled the pen out of my pocket. Of course, I always walk around with a pen in my pocket with my company name on it, my name on it, information. All right. Signed my name and left the pen. And I said, just keep the pen. And she goes, oh, wow, I'll keep that. She goes, oh, I need to buy a house. My husband and I, we need to buy a house. And I said, look, you can buy a house. You don't need any money out of pocket. You can buy a house for no money out of pocket. I tell her she was young, in her 20s. And I asked her if she's ever purchased a home before. And she goes, no, not at all. And she goes, I need to get my score up, which a lot of people do. The reason why I'm telling you the story is if you have a credit score of 620 or higher, you can purchase a house. Of course, you have to have a job and verified income, 620 or higher score. So if you're listening to this, please let everybody know as much as you can. And look, I would love for everybody to call myself and my staff and team here. We'd love to help you. But most importantly, buying a home puts money in your bank. It puts money in your pocket. It is a forced savings account. I don't care if you bought a house 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and you did absolutely nothing to it, but just pay the mortgage. It's going to be worth more today than it was in 10 years ago. No questions asked. So I told the young lady, 620 or higher credit score, and she goes, well, I need to get my score up. And I explained it to her, you can purchase a home, no money out of pocket. Literally, they grant you the money, and then not only do they grant you the money, but you can refinance that loan if you wanted to get a lower rate, because they're predicting the rates are going to stay under, they're really going to stay under 4.25% for the rest of the year. It's an election year. The rates aren't going to go much higher than about 4.5%. Nobody wants to rock that boat. Nobody wants to pick that scab and throw water on that, you know? So the moral of the story is, yes, you absolutely can buy a house for no money out of pocket. Absolutely can buy a house for no money out of pocket. So that leads me to talk a little bit about housing trends. You know what? Let me jump back for a second. Let me talk on this right here. I thought this was fascinating. I have a young lady, Heather Bass, that works with me. She brought me in this newspaper. I forgot where she said they found it, but it's the Times-Picayune. I'll hold it up here in front of the camera. And it's from November 16th, 1958. Times-Picayune. 1958, y'all, is 2020, 62 years ago. The VA interest rate says now is at 4.34%, 4.75%, compared to the FHA current rate. Y'all, can y'all see this? November 16th, 1958. Mortgage rates, 5.25%. 5.25%. Think about that. That's pretty phenomenal. 5.25%, and that's what they are today. Now, what's really cool is you could have bought a 1,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house for $4,000. I don't know about you, but I promise you that $4,000 house is worth about $200 today. And I don't know, 62 years, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? You know? Real estate is a good investment. Absolutely. I heard a guy say this. I thought this was really, really very wise. He told this to his daughter, Alexis, who works here with me. And I've never met her dad, but her dad said, if you own real estate, you'll never be poor. And I thought, man, that's pretty good advice, you know? It's smart. If you own real estate, you'll never be poor. Never be poor. So now what I'd like to talk about a little bit about and just share with you as consumers, overall housing trends. So where's the housing market? Where are the trends? Right now, 30-year fixed rate, 2020, first quarter, looking at like 3.98%. It's going to vary. It bounces a little bit, but it's, you know, you can bank on 3.9% is the rate. Now, historic rates, check this out. 1980, and I've got all these reports and charts here. 1980, I'm not just making this stuff up. These are housing reports from Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. In 1980, mortgage rates were 12.7%. In 1990, the interest rates were 8.12%. They were 8% in 96 when I got my real estate license 24 years ago. 2000, the year 2000, the millennial, the turn, everybody thought the world was going to end. 6.29%. In 2020, 3.8. Like, it's practically free money. housing prices according to Home Prices Index, Home Prices 2020. So overall, historically, home prices have year over year, they're averaging about 5.4% increase in value. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of things. I thought this was really interesting. It says, we now expect single-family housing starts, that means like single-family build starts, and sales of new homes to increase substantially, aided by a large uptick in new construction as builders work to replenish inventories drawn down by recent surge in new home sales activity. So once again, what I was talking about, in our local market here, we're seeing a seller's market. That came from Doug Duncan, by the way, who's the chief economist at Fannie Mae. And if y'all ever want to copy these slides, just give us our call at the office, 985-626-1313. We can shoot them over to you. We're going to get really diligent about making sure that anything that I talk about here, they're going to be in the show notes, they're going to be on YouTube. You can download, and you'll see all these forms and stuff. Showing Time's latest reports show another increase in buyer traffic. Now, the way it works, when you put a house on the market, there's a company called Showing Time. Showing Time is the largest company that actually sets up appointments for real estate brokerage companies and consumers. So the way it works in our multiple listing service, when we're real estate brokerages, we list property, we put it in our main database, and then we share that database with everybody locally as well as nationally. That's where Zillow gets their information. That's where Realtor.com gets their information, and dozens of others. It comes directly from, just if you go to WayneTurner.com, you'll see that every single home listed with every single real estate company, there's like over 12,000, right at 12,000 properties in the entire Metro New Orleans MLS. You can find them all there. But Showing Time, so when we list a property, it goes into the system. Then there's a little bitty button, and all realtors can see that button. And when you click that button, a little window pops up on your screen, and you can set a showing. So you click on the time and the day that you're going to show that property, and then the Showing Time customer service rep reaches out to the homeowner. The homeowner's contacted. The homeowner, confirms the showing on the property, and then from there, once it's confirmed, the showing on the property, from there, the appointment's set, the home is shown. The reason why I'm telling you this really quick is that the nation's 12.6% growth in home showings compared to 2018 was the most significant jump in buyer traffic, literally during the current 4-month streak year-over-year increase. Literally, and of course the western region of the United States seen the biggest jump, was like 23%, but the South, we've seen 15.4%. So here's the thing. There's a couple of indicators that you have to look at: where the market goes, where's the housing. It's not just homes sold. The biggest thing that I have closest thing I tell people I have to a crystal ball is information and data. And so when I can see that, it's not so much as home sales as it is people actually setting appointments to look at houses, people actually looking at the website, people actually clicking on homes, people actually setting appointments to see the home and look at the home. I know us personally, our site, we get about 474 people a day, every single day on our website at WayneTurner.com here in the Metro New Orleans area. People looking for houses, And keep in mind, a lot of people just like to look. There's nothing wrong with that. But they find that most people that are looking, they're buying within 18 months. Now, 30-year rates, we talked about that. They're at phenomenal lows, 3.8, 3.9. I'll read you this one. I thought this was pretty cool, too. We expect mortgage rates to remain low over the next 2 years, averaging 3.8%, 20 to 21 Freddie Mac. Housing remains a solid foundation for the U.S. economy going into 2020. George Ratu, senior economist at Realtor.com. So look, folks, I'm not trying to talk you into buy a house. I'm not trying to talk you into selling your house. I just think you need to know as much information as possible so you can make the best informed decision for your future. I know that, I'll tell you a quick little story. There were people that bought homes in all of these markets, but I know one in particular because that's where I'm from. These glasses really make my eyes look big, don't they? Jeez alive. So back in a lot of you listeners here, y'all remember this. Like years ago, there was HUD properties. And HUD properties were listed. They were housing urban development. They were basically FHA loan mortgages two consumers who failed to pay the mortgage. They were foreclosed properties, and they would post those in the newspaper, and those properties were bid upon and purchased. There's a lot of people in Nashville, Tennessee bought a lot of HUD homes, small homes, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 4-bedroom, 1 bath houses, like little brick starter homes. And a lot of we've seen the economy after World War II, and a lot of the GIs came back, the soldiers came back. They've really seen the housing boom there all over the country, not just Middle Tennessee. I just know this for a fact. Now, what was interesting is people actually purchased homes in Nashville for anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 to $50,000. And literally in the last 10, 12, 15 years, the economy, the people that have owned real estate and bought real estate, they've become multi-millionaires overnight because they've literally just bought properties and owned rental houses. And I find that unbelievably fascinating. Listen, I've been in the real estate business for 24 years, and you can make a really, really good living selling real estate if you hustle and you work hard and you grind like anything. But if you really want to build wealth, you buy real estate, you hold real estate, you own real estate, you flip real estate. So without further ado, I think we'll go ahead and end the podcast. But I appreciate everyone listening. I hope that this has brought you value. If you're listening local, I say thank you. You can check us out on the web at wayneturner.com. You can actually see and watch this podcast on wayneturnertv.com. I thank you. I appreciate you. If there's ever anything we can do, give us a call, 985-626-1313. I'm Wayne Turner. Wish you the best.